Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. We're going to try and do something a little different today. Remember I mentioned before that I to be consistent in what you're doing, and I haven't been being consistent and making my videos. You know, it's been about like a month before I made a video. So I'm going to try and give myself a little bit of a challenge here to be consistent. A 10-day challenge created for myself. It's a 10-day rebuilding your life challenge plan that I created here. So I'll go through 10 different topics over the next 10 days to keep myself consistent and persistent in what I'm doing. Like I said, I tell people, I told you this before, you know, to be consistent and persistent in what you're doing, and I haven't been. So I'm trying myself a little challenge here to do that. So that being said, this is day one. So my first topic I'm going to talk about, the title is You're Not Alone, the truth about feeling stuck. And I mentioned this before about the feeling of being stuck, not being able to get anywhere. You know, it's very frustrating. So this is what this first video is going to be about. You know, basically it's like maybe you've been carrying pain you don't want to talk about. Maybe you're tired, lost, frustrated, or maybe life just feels flat, like nothing moves forward anymore. You know, the feeling of being stuck in life, just like you don't feel like doing anything. You feel like you're stuck in the mud. You know, you just get frustrated. And in my case, frustration tends to turn to anger, which is not a very good emotion to draw on for anything. But anyway, everybody feels stuck. You know, but if you want to get unstuck, you have to understand why you're stuck in the first place. Being stuck doesn't always look, you know, it's not always a dramatic thing about being stuck. Sometimes it's quiet. You know, it wakes you up saying, why bother? Why bother doing this? Why am I trying? You know, I'm just stuck here in this job that I don't like, or I can't amount to anything. This is all I can do. I can just be, I don't know, a cashier. I'm just making up stuff here. You know, this is all I can do. But that's not true. You're talking yourself out of being more than what you currently are. You know, you're sitting there, you're scrolling on your phone or your tablet or your computer. You're scrolling through life while your dreams just gather dust. Everybody has dreams. Everybody has stuff that they want to do in their life. But it's that stuck feeling that holds them back. And I understand it because I live it. You know, using myself as examples here, I live this every day. I feel stuck a lot. You know, like I said, I'm currently in a job. I have a job like everybody else does, paycheck to paycheck thing. You know, I get the feeling that I'm not doing enough. I feel stuck. You know, but it's not the end of your story. The only reason why it's the end of your story is if you allow it to be the end of your story. It's all up to you. It's not about anybody else that's around you. It's all up to what you want to do. You know, you want to get unstuck, you just say, that's it. I've had enough. That's what I'm trying to do. I've had enough of being stuck. And I'm trying to move forward. And one of these ways is doing these videos and giving myself this little bit of a challenge here. To challenge yourself in order to move forward, to get unstuck. You know, a seed doesn't grow until it's pressed deep into the ground, and in darkness, silence, and pressure, and then it grows into a nice plant, into the sunlight. So you have to go through the rough stuff, the darkness, so-called, to get to the light, to get to where you want to be. You know, so if you feel like you're stuck or buried. That's another word. You know, for being stuck, you feel like you're buried and something like that. You know, you don't feel like you're being punished or you can't do anything. It's like you're being prepared to do what you want to do, but you have to just be like, okay, I'm stuck right now. I don't like being here. What am I going to do to get unstuck? You know, for example, write down this question: what's keeping me stuck? And be honest with yourself. No one else can know about this but you. You and those who are believers, you and God. Okay? Write down the question: what keeps me stuck? Be real to yourself and don't hold back. Like I said, be honest with yourself. Okay? If you're not honest with anything else, be honest with yourself. That's how you're going to help yourself to get unstuck. Second question you can ask yourself is this my identity or just a chapter in my journey, my life's journey? And usually it's just a chapter. You know, it's the beginning. You have to start someplace. You know, you can't get to the end if you don't begin and you don't get through all the stuff in the middle. Everyone wants to get to the finish line, but they don't want to do the stuff in the middle, in between that, to get there. You know, so also what you're going through, you're feeling stuck, you know, feeling buried, unproductive, like this is all I can do. I can't do anything else. It doesn't define who you are, and it doesn't make who you are. Who you are is what you choose to be. Like I keep saying, you choose to be stuck, you're stuck. You choose to be unstuck, you're going to find ways to get to be unstuck. So, you know, and it's also, like I said before, those who are believers in God, like I am, you use Him as your foundation. That's what I do. And those who are believers, if you're not a believer, you can use Stoic and Bushido ways. I use those as secondary, complementary things to my biblical principles, my foundation. But you can just, if you're a believer, you can ask God. Say, God, show me the part of me that's still alive and breathe new life into it. Because that's what you're doing by becoming unstuck. You're starting new. It might be scary, might feel weird and uncomfortable, and that's normal, because it's going to. Because you're coming out of the little comfort zone, getting unstuck, and stepping towards what you want to really be. You know, you're not the only person that's going through this either. You know, I am. I live it. You know, and I'm a lot older now. I'm 59. I'll be 60 years old this year. And I'm just starting to redo all this stuff to get unstuck. You know, and it is frustrating sometimes. You get those ups and downs, but you just got to take those steps to move forward. You know, because if you don't, you're just going to stay where you are and be frustrated and be like, oh, I can do nothing. I can't do anything. I'm stuck. I'm just going to give up. And don't give up. Because if you give up, you're done. You're just going to stay where you are and be stuck, buried. So if you want to get unstuck, you know, you're not the only person that's doing this. You're not the only one that this happens to. You have to take a step forward. First of all, just stop saying that I'm stuck, or that I'm buried, or that I can't do this, or I can't do that. Stop saying that. Saying you can do this. What's the first step to do? If you're a believer, pray to God. If you're not, use Stoic wisdom, Bushido wisdom to help change your mindset from that stuck mindset to an unstuck mindset to move forward. I'm simplifying this because I don't want to make things too complicated, but you just have to move forward. And the first step is to become unstuck. It's like laying bricks. You lay the first bricks, get the foundation down, nice, straight, and level. Then you can build everything on top of that, nice and level, on your way up. So, like I said, this is my first video of 10 that I'm giving my challenge for. Hopefully this makes sense to people. Hopefully you hit the like button and the subscribe button so you can follow me on this 10-day challenge. And I will see you in the next video.